say that this budget does not help to stimulate growth in agriculture, industry and infrastructure. No credible measures to curb inflation. Savings and investment have only received a nudge, not a big push. No effort has been made to make MG, Mahatma Gandhi, Narega and NRHM more effective cost-wise and implementation-wise. Sir, one famous economist, S.L. Rao, he has commented that this budget does not display Chidambaram's trademark aggression and imagination. It is unlikely to stimulate growth, moderate inflation, and restore India's balance of payments. Sir, the unfortunate thing in this whole budget exercise is that there has been sniping by the present budget at the previous finance minister. Sir, if you read the economic survey, it put the blame of the bad state of growth on the previous finance minister. What has the economic survey said? The strong post-financial crisis stimulus led to stronger growth in 2009-10 and 10-11. However, the boost to consumption coupled with supply-side constraints led to higher inflation. Monetary policy was tightened. The consequent slowdown in 2012-13 has been across the board. Who was in government in 10 when the stimulus was given? The same Manmohan Singh government, Pranab Mukherjee as finance minister. And you are blaming him for increasing inflation and for growth. Mentions last year's planned target as ambitious and expenditure target, non-planned target as conservative. But this is not done, sir, in the same continuing government. How can you do that? But it has been done. Now let me deal with the issue theoretically, sir. There are lines of thought in budget of Cambridge Millard Keynes. He proposed a fiscal policy. He felt the government should raise taxes and spend it in various sectors, thus stimulating growth. The other policy, which was started by Adam, followed up, maybe is all followed by Mr. Chidambaram, is the monetary policy. They do not believe in government intervention. They feel that the central bank, independent of the government, should increase or decrease interest rates, thus bringing more money into the market and let the private sector lead the recovery and economic growth. Mr. Chidambaram has followed the monetary, and what has he done? He has been desperate to reduce fiscal deficit, as if this is his mool mantra. This is the be-all and end-all. And in the process, what has happened, sir? That he has got locked in a stalemate with Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank, in spite of his prodding, is refusing to cut interest rates to bring more money into the market. This is what. Number two, in the name of curbing expenditure, he has chopped planned expenditure. Now, how does a poor country advance? By investing more in the plans. Last year, the finance minister has cut 1 in planned expenditure, and he has reduced total expenditure by 60,000 crores. He is saying that I have reduced fiscal deficit. Now, fiscal deficit, is it to satisfy Moody's or Standard & Poor so that they give you a better rating? This is a question which Mr. Chidambaram has to answer. He has reduced subsidies this year and last year. He has reduced total subsidies from rupees 2.48 lakh crores to 2.20 lakh crores. Now, whom it will affect? In oil, subsidy is reduced. That means diesel LPG prices will be increased. It will hit the Aam Aadmi. In fertilizer, subsidy has been reduced, which means it will hit the Kisan. And in food, the government on the one hand is talking about introducing food subsidy bill. Subsidy is only rupees 90,000 crores. All estimates say that if we introduce food subsidy bill, at least 1,20,000 crores will be necessary. Now, who is Mr. Chidambaram trying to please? His own party or his fiscal deficit control instinct. It is not clear from the budget. That's why I am disappointed. I do not agree with his view, but he is always known as an efficient minister with a monetarist view, pro-market view, who dreams of new budgets. This budget is just a tinkering with our economic policies without any concrete direction as a whole. Sir, I want to say that this budget, following the monetarist policy, has cut down severely on the social sector. You read, Pallam Raju had said that education is up by 17%. The HRD minister says it's too little. In health, I support the introduction of cities in the National Health Mission. Health is up by 28%. Prime Minister's cardiologist, one of the noted health scholars in the country, Dr. K. Srinath Reddy, he says it is disappointing to less in defense. He has cut, compared to last year, 17% increase. He has only given 5.3% in defense. Remember what happened in Kashmir yesterday and what happened on the LOC, where our Juan's head was cut off? We have reduced defense. He is trying to raise finances from disinvestment. He has set a target of rupees 55, almost 56,000 crores. Now, we are generally against this rampant disinvestment of public sector enterprises. But all right. Please sum up. Look, sir. Please sum up. Sir, हम तो छोटा थोड़े भी खत्म कर. Now, disinvestment will weaken the public sector and put them in the hands of this dishonest people. I know in my constituency, one Jessup company, it was disinvestment. Today the private entrepreneur is not running it properly. It is languishing. This should not happen. So the main thing is, he has not talked about black money at all. Now Pranab Mukherjee gave a white paper on black money. Though the paper was not very good, Jaswant Singh called it like a bikini. It conceals the essential and reveals the non-essential. But still he spoke about black. Mr. Chidambaram has refrained from talking about black money. Yesterday, sir, I read one book on black money by one Brij Bharadwaj. They say estimate of black money in India is 1 trillion rupees. Now, what are you doing to flush out this black money? Part of which is parked abroad, comes to India only at the time of elections. In our house, we had adjournment motion on black money. Mr. Chidambaram, for some reason, has decided to keep quiet. I thought he would go after black money in a big way in a pre-election year. No such thing has happened. Sir, looking at real estate market, sir, large-scale counterfeiting operations, smuggling and corruption all help in creation of black money. The mafia operations, crime syndicates show that a large part of our economy is outside the tax net. Unless we tackle black money, bring back Indian money stacked abroad, and break the nexus of black money and real estate operators and politicians, this country will not be able to make progress.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you.
Sir, I was winding up. Last lines. So as I said, that even today, I saw a program on a TV channel. They're saying money laundering scam by major private sector banks. Now, what is this? What action will be taken against the banks? He is opening the doors of banks to foreign companies. What will happen to our country? Sir, please think. Sir, Mr. Chidambaram has reduced subsidies. And at the end, he has quoted Thiruvallur, which he always does. Let me quote a Bengali poet, Shukanto Bhattacharya. He says, Khudar jagote পৃথিবী গদ্যময় পূর্ণিমা চাঁদ যেন ঝলসানো রুটি term means in the world of hunger, the world is prosaic. There is no poetry. And the full moon looks like a burnt roti. Sir, he will not understand. This government, in the last few years, has given 3.48 lakhs exemptions to corporates in the hope that they will invest. You have not done away with exemption, which means what?
Thank you. Now, please.
Sir, I'm ending. Which means that you are pampering the rich and extorting the poor. Please remember, this question was asked by this young poet, Sukanto Bhattacharya. He said, bolte paro, boro manush motor keno chorbe, ar gorib keno, shei motore tolay chapa podbe. Why would rich ride in cars and why would the poor be crushed under those things? So I say, Mr. Trinamool, there is still time. No tinkering. You take 10% surcharge from rich. But it's laughable.
Shri M. Venugopal Reddy.
Sir, please, sir. He says 42,000 people are there who pay more than 1 crore taxes. There are more people in South Delhi who have more than 1 crore income. You're not trying to bring them into the tax net. And so, lastly, sir, let me say that he has quoted the Nobel laureate Stiglitz. Now, in 2002, Stiglitz wrote a book, Globalization and Its Discontents, where he has said the West has seriously mismanaged the process of privatization, liberalization and stabilization. And that's why the poor are worse off than they were before globalization. In 2006, Stiglitz wrote another book, Making Globalization Work. I hope that Mr. Chidambaram has read that book also. And he will find a way to make globalization work and not subject our economy to the vagaries of the markets in the West. That is not the way, sir. I will not speak on any sectoral demands. Only ask him to give some special package for the jute industry, which Rajiv Gandhi had given. There is no mention of jute industry. Lastly, sir, I end. When Jawaharlal Nehru died, a poem by Robert Frost was found at his bedside. It said, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. My little horse must think it well to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and a frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. Mr. Chidambaram, don't go to sleep. You have the miles to go before you make this economy recover. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Reddy.